Hi, this is Joe again, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we want to fly our Moho satellite to Moho. And for that I did plan an extra, by the way, we can get rid of this because we will now be staying here. But I would have clicked through and warped to periapsis if I did just click so. I did an extra maneuver at my sun periapsis to better my Moho orbit. I'll show you that. And I've just dragged my Moho orbit to be a polar orbit so I can get all the biome data. And just now I'm seeing that we need more. One more. Okay. This will be a high orbit, I think. I'm not sure. So this is what we're doing now. So by the way, I did put it to 5% so that I don't overshoot my maneuver. So and it's easier to dose what we're doing here. And I want to not warp to periapsis, but just to maneuver node. That one. And at this point you can see I have a higher orbit, but I'm faster because my orbit is eccentric. If my orbit was circular, I would be slower than Moho, but because my orbit is eccentric, we're actually faster than Moho on a higher orbit. But that's just how it works. So it's still good that I can move my satellite really good with the built-in SAS. It's a big SAS for a relatively light rocket. So I'm just warping to maneuver by hand because that's how I like it. It gives me more control than the auto warp. So we'll have to burn for 13 seconds in 10 seconds. By the way, we still have 99%. Oh, we are now at the point where we have not 100% signal strength. Still weird that we don't get a noise from that. And the moment it starts to wander off, we're going with like a little thrust. So that we get it here. And that's where it switched. So this is what our periapsis now looks like. We have a polar periapsis of 150,000 and we'll get there in 7 days. Let's see, is something else in between? No, the next science station alert will be in 8 days. By the way, I did 2 science station sent data away things and got already 1,000 more signs from that, and we'll get a lot of signs from this Moho satellite. So let's just go into the Moho orbit here. This is now looking weird, but yeah, I know, 50 iron, I'll get that every few days. So, and there we have it, our orbital, our sphere of interest change, where we get the first flyby of Moho and we escape the gravitational influence of the sun, giving us a bit of extra funds. And let's see how much we have to break here to get into an orbit at all. About 2,000, that's almost all we have left. And we have to burn like an hour. Don't forget to put your thrust limit up again. We have to burn for 3 minutes, and let me get that maneuver to a circular orbit. That's almost circular. We have to burn for like 2 minutes. We can already align ourselves. Also, what we can now look up, since we're in Moho's sphere of interest, we can go to our Kerbal engineer, show the body and see what the low space altitude is. It's 80,000, so we'll need to burn even lower, but that's not a problem with our 2800 delta V. That's not a problem to burn this orbit lower. So we just go until we're... Oh, that's the wrong one. Wanted to get rid of the engineer. That button. We'll have to burn 4 minutes, so we'll go to... I'll put that away. We'll go to 2 minutes before periapsis, so somewhere around here. Warp here, go retrograde, and that's when we'll start burning. Our signal strength is now 98%. I could zoom out, but we're now doing our burn. I wanted to zoom out to show you how our signal is getting through. We have to be careful that our periapsis doesn't change too much by this. We're also seeing how this maneuver would change our outside of Moho orbit. As we're changing the angle that our extinction angle that we're leaving Moho from, we're still doing a gravity sling maneuver. Yeah, our apoapsis is going down, so we're braking in that orbit. Oh, for a short time we got a second Moho encounter. It can be favorable to do a second Moho encounter to have to need less delta V to brake on the second attempt, but I like my position here because I want to be in my polar orbit about the south pole of Moho we're now, but I will do that sometime later. The checking for biomes and getting all the science and sending it home, and with that done we will then be in a position where we one day still till the other alarm goes off, everything's alright. Now the nav ball is changing like crazy because it's orienting itself on the magnetic field of Moho, and we just went past the South Pole, so it changed by 180 degrees. You can just ignore that. If you're on retrograde, you will automatically follow. I don't know what happens if you're on stability assist, if your rocket will flip. You have to have that in mind then. We can now also see this has a fourth of Earth gravity, so it would be easy to go up here. Do you have an atmosphere? No, you don't. That's the thing that I didn't know for sure if Mercury or Moho has an atmosphere. Mercury has, so it's a tiny pressure. It's not like Earth atmosphere or Venus atmosphere, but it has an atmosphere, Mercury. So that's where we're diverging from real Earth again. Weird, why do I have an SOI over there? Are we leaving solar SOI or what? I don't think that's a part of the stock game. I don't think you can leave the SOI of Kerbal. So we'll need to do our burn before we lose our signal, which is the green line, which we have enough time, but we'll lose our signal when we are behind Moho. So we'll have to be careful here. Don't know how my settings are going with are working with the no communication contact thing, how good that works. So how much control we'll have over our vessel when there's no direct control from KSC possible. And there we have our orbit. I want the apoapsis to be roughly where I am now. This is a bit too eccentric for me, so let's try to correct that from here. No, we won't. This would be a perfect point to break into a low orbit, so we're going like 50,000, minimum safe altitude is 10 kilometers, so we know for sure that there are no mountains bigger than 10 kilometers. That's another thing you have to look out for. So now I'm gonna fast forward to the other side. We still have 1 day, yeah. And we'll actually do our first our circularization burn into a low altitude. But I want to warp here to see what happens to my control when Moho is in the way. No signal, no data, not connected, limited probe control. Automatic SAS, this does work. Can I? Yes, I can change it. Okay. Can I? I can't activate the engine. Okay, I can't activate the engine. Can I do science if I want to? I could. Okay. So no problem there. Okay, that's what I wanted to know, and we'll do our circularization burn at the front side of Moho again. So we'll warp here until we have our signal strength at 98% again, and we're gonna burn retrograde as soon as we hit the periapsis. It's how far away? 40 seconds, so let's warp here. This auto warp is still a thing that's not good for me. First milestone, we've entered orbit of Moho. And let's do our circularization burn. 50k is what we want to reach. Or below 80k. Everything below 80k is good. When they flip, we got our circular orbit and we can now do our science. That's a thing that I'll do off screen again. I'll show it to you just once what I'm doing here. Negative gravioli detector. The 200 thermometer we're gonna lock now, and we're gonna transfer it because I don't plan on coming back to Moho, so we'll have to live with the 45 science instead of the 64. For temperature. For first milestone, we gather first scientific data. Then the prismatic barometer, also only once. And that's all she wrote, because we didn't put in any other ones, because we didn't put in the science lab and scientist. We can't do anything else here. So now log gravity data of the highlands. We're gonna send them. That's highlands. Now midlands. And we are so close to the sun that our solar panels are way more than enough. Yeah, we have an energy flow of 146 now. The small solar arrays near Kerbal get an energy flow of 1.6 maximum. So that's this is really good, because we are like really close to the sun now. Just see how big it is over there. So I'll now be fast forwarding until we get gravity data from every biome that we could see, and I'm seeing you when I do my ascending burn into a high orbit, and then I'll do the science again, and then we'll do the tilting of the orbit to our final orbit, because I don't want to stay in a polar orbit. I'll see you when I've done, when I'm there, where I want to see you. Oh, Moho has apparently some sinkholes. These are actually, I assume these are the ones that are 0 altitude. Interesting. So I'm going around Moho like this until there's another sinkhole. He will Central Lowlands. He will put me out of time warp. X signs will put me out of time warp every time we reach a new biome. So we want to go over 80, so let's say 100. And now we're gonna warp to here, and we'll actually go retrograde to get a milestone. So this is always putting me out of the thing again, so I deactivated the anti-warp thing from science now. So let's go retrograde. Boop. We get a milestone. Suborbital spaceflight above Moho for 56,000, and then we'll go prograde again. And up our periapsis to 100,000 too. So we have our circular orbit, this is high orbit, and we can start doing our gravity scans again. Okay, our satellite is empty, this is where we are now. This is now roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 1/5 of a half of an orbit, so that's around, if you have a circular orbit, your orbital speed is the same everywhere. So about 10% of the time our Moho satellite won't be reachable. It has an orbital period of 4 hours. So every 4 hours there will be a 24-minute window where our relay is not reachable. So I hope that this doesn't hurt us too much. But this is our Moho satellite relay set up and ready to go, with now 98% strength and like almost the maximum distance we can have, and that's a single relay dish, of course. So these relay dishes are combinable, so I should normally put more than one of those here, but it was big enough as it was. So going back to the Kerbal space station, it wanted to send some science home. So we're gonna transmit that science. Yeah, I had enough left. The margin of error was big enough in the Kerbal alarm so that I could do the other stuff first. So you can see this one is sending way faster than the other space station. The other one is really crawling while sending data. This one is way faster. And we also have some data left that we can add to our processor. Cannot analyze since the lab is full of data. So for the next time, we know we still have one report with 60 MIDs that we can put in there. That's 50 data. For whatever reason, data doesn't equal MIDs. So let's set up the next alarm clock here at the alarm when it's full. It's in 38 days. So we're done with that. We are able to return to our space center and see how much science we've gathered with all those last missions. Because I also went to Minmus. I told you that I did that, but we got some science data from there too. We should now have 5,000 science. Okay, I was thinking about having like 3,500 science, but I forgot that I sent 3 full laps of science here since then. So what I want to have for my Eve mission is this, the large holding tank and the narrow band scanner, because I want to refuel it on Gilly. So that's definitely worth it. I won't take radioisotopes. I'll take them to ELO for my ELO mission, but I'll not take them to my Eve mission. That's close enough to the sun that I can just use my solar rays. So let's see, what else do I want? I mean, the large probes are great, so I can just send no pilots anywhere. This had the XL girder, which I wanted to have. The shielded docking ports are not worth it. I have no idea why anyone would use them. I mean, if you put it at the top of your ship, and then it's better aerodynamic wise, but when do you need that? The quadcopter is good. The quadcopter is good. And the girder, yeah, let's take that. But this is what I'm interested in, the Mark III modules, because if we're using nuclear rockets, we'll be using only liquid fuel, so the Mark III ones are the biggest ones we have there, so I'll definitely use them. And these are even bigger one. So this is double the tank, and then we have also our adapters here to have Mark III to... not Mark II, Mark II is not circular. That's to 3.75. See an adapter. Mark III to 2.5 adapter. Okay, so we have that already. But we can have monopropellant tanks and rocket fuel fuselages in the same size if we want to. And the real big wings if we need them. I mean, I want to build a space shuttle at some point, so we'll need that at some point. If I want to have a thing, we'll also have to take this. Oh god. If I want to have a space shuttle, so that's all the other stuff. That's what I just bought, but for Mark II, so that is not the thing that we really need, and these are the engines for that. So this is only needed for space shuttles. This is the 10-meter heat shield. If we would want to aerobrake on Eve, we would need this. But I am no idiot. I know that aerobraking on Eve is a pain. You will die. Also, landing on Eve. Aerobraking and landing on Eve are two things that I want to avoid. I know my luck, to be saying that much, and I know my luck. My mission was now to do a flyby of Eve, so my next mission might be the landing on Eve. And to avoid the possibility of being sent to the Eve system again, we'll do anything but landing on Eve. So we'll land on Gilly, and we'll do an orbit of Eve. And we might even try to do a little dip into the atmosphere just to get some science. We don't need science anymore. We can completely forget about experiments. We don't need science anymore. This is like 3K, 4K, 4K 100, 4K 700 is all we need. That's 1,200 science away. Our science labs on our 2 space stations will provide us enough science to get the full science tree. We don't need science experiments anymore. This is really good then. So, what do we want to buy now? So let's deal with everything that's down here. So we have everything available. The large probes. So now let's go into, I mean, heavy land. I don't want to aerobrake on Eve. I'm not mental. And you don't even need a heat shield for a direct aerobrake on Duna, because its atmosphere is so thin. I'll definitely want to land on Duna, so... okay, let's go with the space shuttle approach. I don't need those engines though. Okay, let's do this. Good, so we have 1,500 left, the 1,550, the 1,120 we'll get from the space labs in 60 days, and our EVE mission will take longer, which is shown by me trying to plot something to reach EVE, which can already take more than 200 days. There's no problem in that. No insertion burn? No, we don't want to make an insertion burn. We don't want a 100-kilometer orbit though, so a 500 is enough. Yeah. Okay, so our departure date will be year 2, day 349, so more than a year from now. But we can take it like here. This is 3.1. This is 2.5. So we need just 600 delta V more to take it from here, which will... This 190 days, this is 320 days, so that's 130 days longer. And that's 130 days after, so it's the same, basically. Our arrival at EVE will be at the same date for both of them, so we can actually wait for the window. Okay, how much do they differ if I'm being like slightly off on the window? So this is like total delta V 2,500 if I'm here. Okay, so this is a ejection angle inclination of 7.5. This is 8.3. This is 2.29. So this is vastly different depending on where we want to go. Okay. Okay, that's a problem. So, but we know that we can wait a year, so we can actually fast forward to get the next science data from our 2 labs, which is in 38 days. Yeah, this is looking fine. Also, we're getting like ion data from the surface of one of the things. Okay, we can already delete this alarm and we can go to the Kerbal Space Station to get our first batch of data. Kerbal Space Station. It's this one. The one that I can't see because of the stupid X science overlay that I can't get rid of. If I knew how, I would deactivate it in the config, but I just don't know how. Yeah, we got 50 stuff from ions. Nobody cares. Transmit those signs. We won't set up another alarm, so we can just fast forward here. Whee! Something weird was happening there. Now it got sent. Okay, 498 signs from here. Let's change to the Kerbal Space Station so that we're ready. So that we can buy the rest of the science tree. Why did I change to Space Station? I should have changed directly to the other thing. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 day, 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. Okay, so you also saw that that Kerbal days are 6 hours long. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind if you want to set up your geostationary orbit. Also, this is the last alarm we have. We wanted to circularize our Kerbal Space Station orbit so that it stays in space. Yeah, so just transmit that science. Goes way faster than the other one. Also, we can review this and add it to the lab. So we don't have unused science data lying around. Got our 498 science. And now we might want to change to the other space station again to get the last tidbits of science that have accumulated in the 6 days that have passed. Should be around 60 science. Let's see. Don't even know how much science I have. I mean, I can let the game show it to me, or I can just take enough science to have no problem at all. So let's get rid of the Kerbal alarm clock here because it's not helping. We have 1529 science. We can transmit these 50 and then we're done. Didn't we have... the wrong side, this one? Ah no, I already used all of them here. Didn't have any more data left. So this is uploading its data, and from now on we don't need any science anymore. We don't need any science anymore, so we can also take care of another thing that I wanted to do. The one that transfers science to funds, because funds is now the thing that we're working with. Let's buy those last two things, hypersonic flight and aerospace tech, and we're now done with the tree. I think this needs fundraising campaign, no. Unpaid search program, no. Outsourced R&D, no. Research rights sellout, no. Patents licensing. Takes science gains from contracts and yields funds, and also from field work. We would want a 100% commitment, which will cost us 2,700 to set up. Okay, so we need to accumulate a bit of science, and after that we'll get funds for science that we get from field work or contracts, and we won't get any other science anymore. Good, that's all we need. By the way, this is one of the last buildings that has to be upgraded, and I really don't care. It's just the spaceplane hangar and the administration building, but I don't want to do them now because our funds are actually a bit short. So, next episode we will devise our mission to go to Eve. And we'll try to use the optimal transfer window, which will cost us 2,700 Delta V. Okay, we'll leave this open because that's the one we need. This actually happens at day 2 in the year, day 350 in the year 2. And this alarm actually takes place in 81 days. That's now basically. So we're changing to the Kerbal Space Station again. I'm sorry, and we're gonna do our final burn with the Kerbal Space Station to put it in place where it wants to be. Fly that. Delete the alarm. Fast forward to periapsis and burn. Delete the alarm. No alarms in the list. Fast forward to periapsis if it lets me scroll out enough. Yeah. Fast forward to periapsis. Go in again. Oh, this is getting diminishing returns now. We're breaking our warp because we want to transmit the signs from here. Because I know that we need the 2700 to convert all signs into funds. Once it's sent, we'll continue our warp towards the periapsis, which is now 17 days away. And we can put our SAS on, retrograde, periapsiside, apoapsiside, and get it circularized. We're using our triple nerve engines here to get that much thrust weight ratio. It's now a 0.3, which is really good for a ship this size. Because this is a space station. I'm basically flying the space station with almost the same thrust weight ratio that I would fly an interplanetary in an interplanetary thing. So the question is, could I do an Eve flyby with this? We have 700 left, so if Eve would be our target. So let's see if we do something at the ascending node. To like just offset that, how much delta V do we need to be in the same plane as Eve? 300. How much delta V would we need to break down is the other question, because 2 degrees is actually quite alright. I mean, we can use this to add a maneuver and to break. How much do we need to break down to its orbit height? That's 500. That's a thing we could do. We could just tweak this to get... I'm not getting target markers properly. Okay, not here, not here. Over there, no. Not over there. Okay, we're too far away here. He's over there, so we need to... He was overtaking us, I assume. So we need to get him like somewhere here, where we'll need to break less. But why is he still faster than us? So let's try it over here. Okay, I'm still not getting something about this, but whatever. So he's faster than us. He should be faster than us. The problem is, the later we burn, the less faster than us he is. Okay, this would need to go up. Oh god, no, no, no. Okay, we need to eliminate this. So let's take this ascending node. Do a proper maneuver where we'll meet the descending node over there. Okay, and then just add orbits. Wasn't that supposed to be... No, no, that's moving the node. This is adding orbits. Okay, this is way better. Get another orbit in. This is way worse. I don't want to add an orbit, that's like 2 years to wait. So if we go over here to the descending node, we can also brake here. We need to brake less over here. And if we add an orbit there, we're missing it. The problem is, I already see that we need to brake 400. We need to brake 400 with this. Can I force? Can I force it with doing like inclination changes at the same time? He's there. Okay. Here's the target. So actually want to have it more near this. No, I want to use this. What the fuck? No! Ah! I hate the maneuver nodes sometimes. Okay, this is not working, so we're actually having to go the other way around. Want to meet it over there. For this we have to brake less. Why doesn't this work? Wrong one. Up. Why don't we have... Okay, we'll have to... That's way too much. Okay, we can't force it. We can't force it. So we won't do an Eve flyby with this. So we can actually stay retrograde, burn a bit more, and it's circularized and doesn't hit any of the other planets. And then we can leave it here. And we'll do our Eve mission like I wanted it to be. Wait, my stupid mission says to return to Kerbin from a flyby of Eve, so flybying Eve with the Kerbal Space Station wouldn't do anything. Good, so I didn't screw up. I think we needed a bit more for the circular one. Yeah. Unset the target. You're just staying here. Okay. Have a nice day, space station. And have a nice day, viewer. No. We don't... I didn't set this alarm. Thank you. Sometimes it auto sets alarms, and when you change ships, and that's quite annoying. We already got 500 more signs. I'm taking the signs of the Kerbal Space Station again, and I'll doing this a few times until we are like a few days before going on our Eve mission. And then I'll build the Eve ship. So see you tomorrow with the Eve ship building episode, and after that will be the Eve mission. Have a nice day.